Well, that wasn't what I anticipated when we were up 40-25. You know, we made some uncharacteristic turnovers when I still felt like we had the flow and the rhythm, and that wasn't just one player. And I thought we were going to get through that and still get the shots that we did, but we didn't. But we still found a way to tough this one out, and that's kind of the definition of this team. And I keep going back to it about toughness and grittiness and really being a true team and having different people come up big at different times. You know, Belma hit key shots at critical times tonight. And then I think we all can, you know, say that Amadeus Samashi's charge at the end of the game was worth 10, 12, 14 points maybe. That's a heck of a basketball play, a high IQ, savvy basketball play. And we found a way to win again.
Dan, you had mentioned earlier in the season that Stasia was more of a jump shooter, but the two biggest plays she had were in the paint, physicality, the rebounds that really drew reaction from yourself on the bench. Can you define her effort, not just the 8 points, but those two big plays as well?
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Stasia's 2 buckets there. Stasia's rebounds, everything Stasia did tonight was big. I mean, slicing through the lane to come up with rebounds. I've never seen Stasia jump so high in my life. Stasia played as hard as I've ever seen her play, and she doesn't want her season to end. She doesn't want her career to end. So I got to take a second because that kid's special.
You were,
Go ahead.
It was 10-2 again.
Yeah.
That was the moment of silence.
That's a moment of silence because Stasia has driven me crazy for 3.5 years. But I love Stasia dearly, and I love her dearly. And I know that Belma and Liv and Stasia and Josie don't want their seasons to end, and they're playing their butts off.
You guys were down 10-2 again against this team for the second time. What did you guys do to maybe flip the switch a little bit faster this time?
You know, we got a lot of good shots. They just didn't go in. And so we talked about attacking the basket, trying to get to the free throw line, and then let's get some offensive boards and get some scores on putbacks. But it was just a case of, you know, the ball wasn't really going in the hoop, a little short rim, you know, maybe a long rim, that kind of situation. But we knew eventually that it was going to fall. And I think it was like a 23-8 run below the 12-minute mark where we kind of took over. And then, you know, the game was really a game of runs. You know, and they made a run late to, you know, make the game really tight.
What is it about this team that gets these games so close down to the wire? It seems like these guys have you guys pulling your hairs out, literally and figuratively at times, it seemed.
I wouldn't call it pulling my hair out because I wouldn't trade these guys for anything. I've enjoyed coaching this team immensely, and I know our staff has. And I know that we're going to win anytime it's close because that's the makeup of our team. And I never thought we were going to lose this game. I thought we were going to win the entire time. We just needed to catch a break, and that break happened to be, you know, kid throwing the ball away and us playing good defense to make that happen. And we made a smart play there, and then Amadea made her play at the end.
Yeah, you know, just from your vantage point as coach, Dan, how did things kind of just change so drastically in the second half to be going from up 15 just to basically having a turnover or a missed shot on every possession? How did things kind of just change?
Well, part of that is me. Me as a head coach, you know, I've got about 50, 60 games, whatever it is, as a head coach, and I get a little stubborn and don't want to call timeouts and hold my timeouts. You know, that's a point where maybe I should have called a timeout and got us collected and settled a little bit. But in that instance right there, I thought that we were still attacking and had good flow. Just, you know, maybe 1 or 2 decisions weren't as good as they could have been, and I thought Richmond made a couple good plays. But looking back on it in hindsight, too many passes that were cross-court and the half-court, and I should have called timeout, and that's on me. You know, so really the game was close because of me, because I made some bad decisions with not getting us collected with the timeout.
Coach, can you just talk about April's play a little bit? In the first half, you know, she had 6 boards, and then she also had those big three-pointers to kind of jumpstart that comeback.
I was shocked. I looked down at the box score, and she had six boards, you know, like the 5-minute mark of the first half, and I was like, how did that happen? Like, I had no idea, and I thought the stats were actually wrong. because typically April is back. We send 4 to the glass and she's back. But she played her butt off tonight and found seams and was able to take advantage of rebounds that came off. And I think if we look back at the tape, a fair amount of those rebounds came off of bounce off the floor, and I'm glad she did.
Is a game like this just kind of indicative of that postseason mindset of just surviving and advancing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You live another day, and when you get to May, heck, when you get to April, no one remembers that it was a 1-point win. We may reminisce about that a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're 23-10, and we'll take that W any way we can get it. Absolutely, absolutely, and really, we'll celebrate it till midnight, and then we're going to forget about it because we've got to. We've got a quick turnaround to go to West Virginia.
Did you discuss the free throw line at all, other than the 1-and-1 miss on the inside of the minute? You guys were perfect from the line.
Yeah, we shot the free throws really well, that's the mark of a good basketball team that doesn't want their season to end. When we practice, we go in about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, which is a little bit long typically for teams that are still playing at this point. And we still have 5, 6, 7, 8 kids that are staying after to work on their games, and then others that are coming in later in the evening. So our kids are not tired mentally or physically, and we're pretty darn healthy. And so we're going to figure out what West Virginia does, and we're going to go down there and give it our best shot.